Hey guys, what's up? Alex G, aka Massivebeatz here checking in. Yes, Native Instruments delivered Maschine 2.2, a very musical update we've all been waiting for. Lots of you were concerned they're not gonna make it in time. Really? Well, me too. But so yes, perfect timing. Thank you very much. 11:24. Here it is. I'm going to walk you through scales and chords, and I'm going to show you then the arpeggiator. I'm not going to touch so much the touch-sensitive knobs for Maschine Studio. We'll get to that later, but I will also show you how you can get this update, what you should do first, backing up, for example. Nothing you probably don't know already, so it's going to be at the end of the video, but let's start with the fun stuff. Let me switch to the camera. So here it is finally. We have Maschine 2.2 in its full glory installed and running, and the first feature that I'd like to check out with you together is the arpeggiator, and before that the scale and the chord function, which shows up right here if you pin down pad mode, and that allows us to get a little bit more out of those 16 pads. Now, as you know, Ableton Push has 64 pads. They already have the scale feature. They've had that for a long time. Really useful. I usually work with that instead of a keyboard these days, but this might as well be a keyboard. Here, right here, and let me focus on that a little bit. And by the way, I selected fusion keys as my sound. There's not too much going on in terms of effects and delays and so forth. It's a sound with a fast attack. So we want to see, how things shape up, and not too many things built into the sound already. So fusion keys, that's a electric piano sound of the Maschine library. Anyway, so in our normal chromatic setting, you know it. This would be a C3, this would be a C4 right here, so this spans an octave, and here's the minor third, here would be the fifth, here would be the major third, right? That would be the major chord, and then you sort of, when you play in a different key, you can obviously change the setting. You can, if you have a key that starts in, let's say, E would be here. So you can kind of figure that out over time, but even if you're trained piano player or whatever that is, it's sort of a whole new skill set to figure out how things are. Now, I'm going to bring you closer here. Hope the camera picks up at that level. And now we can change from chromatic. Let's change to major, right? So the major now brings us to, shows the features C, D, E, F. Obviously, if we are in C, and we can change that, we can be in a key of B, can be in a key of B flat, and so forth. So if I'm in a key of B flat, and those keys, this would now span a whole, this would span a whole octave right here. It's pretty cool. So, right, so we get 2 octaves and a little bit out of this keypad, right? That is pretty cool. Now we go back to our key of, let's go back to a key of C. Right? So that is pretty cool. Now, if we want to do something different and not go in major, let's say we have minor here, which is pretty cool. Minor, and then let's go harmonic minor. We got major pentatonic. So in major pentatonic, you immediately see we get the octaves line up like this. We can do the whole thing in a minor pentatonic. All right, this would already be here, the E flat, so the minor third. Pretty cool, right? What else can we dial in? It has blues pentatonic. Yeah, it has that little half step built in, and then Japanese. And it has Phragish, never heard of that, Gypsy, Flamenco, Altered, Whole Tone. I love whole tone scales, diminished scales in there, so quite half tone, whole tone scale, blues, so a lot of things in there. We don't have modes as we have in Ableton Push. We don't have like Lydian and so forth, but that's okay. You can still get a lot out of this. So now, next point, and then here gets even more interesting. Let's go back to a major key so we can kind of like follow that a little bit better. Now we can go into chords, right? So harmonic. I can go into harmonic, for example, and then I set it 1, 3, 5. So we automatically go into D minor, E minor, that would be F major, right? Then we go into G major, A minor, B, and C4. Cool. So you can take this to another level. You can play the chords 1, 4, 5, 1, 3, 5, 7. So that's our major 7 chord, and then we would have an F major 7. Obviously, again, if you change that, right? What other options? We have 1, 4, 7, and then we have 1, 3, 5, 7, and then we have 1, 3, 5, and now we can have also the chord set. It gives us 8 options, 8 different chord sets just for major, and then it gives us 8 chord sets for minors. That's 16 different chord sets. And remember, you can also change the key here on the fly, so that's getting even better. So for example, here with C minor 6/9, then we have a D minor 7. So it gets really right, and so this is all lined up here. We have our 12 chords here. And I'm still distorting a little bit. So very cool. We have chord sets. So look at that. And so for those of you who say like, well, you know what, you're giving me here, for example, you're giving me a E flat minor 7 chord, you should learn how to play that chord. Sure enough, I should learn, and I know how to play it, but to play, that'll take me some time to practice. I know I want these chords, and you know, this is all about being a producer. And if we look at the screen here, right, it shows you nicely the chords, so it will record the MIDI. So why don't we do a little pattern here? All right, so next up is the arpeggiator, and mind you, I haven't read the manual at all. Maschine normally comes with usually updates. Like in 2.1, we had a dedicated manual that got included as an addendum into the installation folder. That didn't happen here. At least I didn't see it on my system. If you did on yours, please let me know. So anyways, how do we get to the arpeggiator? Well, what do you think? I think it should be note repeat here, and there it is. So here we have a full-blown arpeggiator. Alright, so now we want to combine that, for example. Alright, so now we have our chord feature. Alright, so now if you jump in between, you have a minor 7 chord that's being arpeggiated. Then we have triplets. Right, and then you have a sequence. There's a rhythmic sequence to it. How cool is that? Right, gate feature. As any good arpeggiator has that. Cool. Love it, love it, love it, love it. And let's see what other sequence we have. Yeah. And then it gives us the timing right here. That's the cool thing. So by changing this knob here, we can set the knob in different sections. So for example, I have this knob set to 8ths, and then I want to have this knob here set to 16ths.
16th notes. And I'm not going to go triplets, I'm going to go normal. So we have this here. And then I go 16th. Alright, so I can jump pretty quickly. And the nice thing is, so it remembers the settings. I think that is a really cool thing. It's a very versatile arpeggiator. You have a gate reset, that's cool. Alright, so type up, you have different types. You gate this. Let's do 16th notes. So very useful in my book. I think there's going to be a lot of cool music coming out of there.
All right, now let's have a quick look at the installation of the whole thing. A couple of steps. Always back up your machine first. If you're on a Mac, you can do Time Machine, you can do Super Duper, you can do Carbon Copy, Clone, what else not, as long as you have a mirror of what you already have. This is just a standard. Anyways, we'll go to the Service Center. We're going to launch that. And then we're going to hit Update, and it's going to bring up the 2.2 update. And these are the features right here. How cool is that? And then we're going to download it. Do that really quickly. And it will require a restart. And after that, not a huge visible change. Starts up as Maschine as always, and all the new features should be there. The only thing is that the touch-sensitive knobs, that requires a firmware update. If you read this here, and I will do that ASAP. I can't wait for that feature. But just for now, what was more important to me was the new musical features. So anyways, thank you very much for checking in. Thanks for following the channel. If you have any requests, they are going to be coming up. We're going to do a lot of more beats with this in combination with Ableton and Push. More bass is going to come, more guitar, and I'm also going to try to compare a few more of those guitar pedals that I did. I want to do a little comparison on that. So this is the end of the rant. Thank you very much. Like, subscribe, follow, hit me up. What else not? Bye.